Good afternoon, crafters. We are live. Sorry about the technical hitch to begin with. I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but hopefully we are live and streaming. Do let me know in the comments that you can see and hear us okay and that everything's working, because I think it's going to be a little bit temperamental this afternoon. For those that are new, my name is Hannah Roxbury and I am the brand ambassador for Carnation Crafts, and these Facebook Lives that we bring you each week are just about really a little bit of interaction. We do pop up a post in our Carnation Crafters group on Facebook. You can search for that and find that, whereby we invite you to request whatever it is you would like to see. Whether it be different techniques, different collections, from a Facebook Live demonstration point of view. And as far as possible, we are putting together more and more lives, and we will try and bring you your requests as well. My comments are working. Okay, that's good. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. We're going to give it a little while, just so everyone wants to start that again. Just so that everyone who wants to follow us live, join in and that sort of thing, can find us and do so. I know it's been there's a little bit of an error with the first stream, so hopefully this is now working fine for you guys. Oh yeah, lots and lots of comments coming in. We've got Andrea joining us. Hi Andrea. Michelle says so excited for this presentation. That's brilliant. Tracy's here as well. Susan's here. Jan, thank you, Jan. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Little Roo is just wonderful, my little baby. He is gorgeous. Pam and Karen. Lynn says, yeah, I thought it was me. No, it was just Facebook doing its normal thing. So hopefully we're going to get through one demonstration unscathed, and then I'll have a look afterwards and see what we can do to improve the stream for upcoming Facebook Lives. Auntie Carla's here. She is. She's out, Auntie Hannah. Oh, that's nice. I've just created the skin off 3 fingertips and a desperate cheese obsessive pasta mission. I love you for that, Carla. Yeah, I was on the video call to Carla just before this live, and she's like, anyway, I've got to go because I've got to make pasta. And I was like, well, do you know what? Any day of the week I will be dumped for pasta. That's no problem. I know how important pasta is. Karen says, I can see and hear you. Thank goodness for that. Rachel says, good afternoon, Hannah. Looking forward to learning about foiling. Yes, this afternoon we're going to be working with the Colour of Autumn collection, because I thought it was really current. I really love the warm colours in this. It's a lot of fun. But I thought actually it would be really nice to then do a lovely live presentation on how we introduce foiling. So we do a cold foiling kit, and actually, just a little heads up, the foiling kit is on Deal of the Day today. If you guys don't know what Deal of the Day is, honestly, you don't know what you've been missing. But Deal of the Day is a special offer we bring you, as the name would suggest, every single day of the week. And it's for 24 hours only. Today's deal is our full cold foiling kit, which includes your sponges, which you need to apply, your glue. You get 2 pots of your foiling adhesive glue within the bundle. This glue is amazing. It's got precision. Oh my goodness me, my words. I'm just going to give up today, I think. It's got a really fine tip nozzle. So you can do things like writing and things like that with it, get into really small areas. But it remains tacky, which means when you come to add your foil in your sheets, we've got imitation gold, we have imitation silver, and we have imitation rose gold. It will then cling to that. Now for this demonstration, I might end up doing a couple of ways of using different foiling techniques, but what I've got laid out in front of me is some stamping. So we can do some stamping with our foiling glue as well. Camilla says, hi everyone from Ireland. Hi Camilla. I'm total beginner to the foiling, so I'm looking forward to this. Fantastic. Ruth says, hi Hannah and all my fellow Naughty Step incumbents. Naughty Step, is it? It's a fun place to be, I have to say. Which is brilliant. Okay, do you know what? Shall we turn this camera around? Sandra from the DT has just joined us. Hello, Sandra. Lovely to have your company there. Yeah, let's turn this camera around. There we go. So you can see I've got everything out in front of me ready to go. And you can see just a few of the die cuts. Whenever we do these Facebook Lives, I kind of have a theme in mind, and I just have a selection of die cuts out on the table, you know, in colour coordinating patterns and colours and that sort of thing. And then we just take it from there and just see where we go. So I've got a nice selection here from Colour of Autumn. I've got sunflowers and the little leaves and things like that. And then a few of the little geometric designs and a little happy birthday. So we're going to build a card out of that. But the first thing I wanted to share with you is how we do the foiling. So I've grabbed a scrap piece of cardstock. This is one of our perfect papers. Actually, that's from, what kit have we just done? Fine Splendor. So this pink colour is from the Fine Splendor Perfect Papers. I've got a little bit of scrap plastic sheeting, and I'm going to have my foiling kit all ready to go. So when you get your glues home, you'll have to snip off. If I just show you one that's not been snipped off, it has like a little stopper on the end. If you just snip that off with a you know, strong pair of scissors, you're then ready to use your glue. And it has attached to it a little cap as well, so you can put that on when you're not using it. The whole idea with your foiling adhesive, it's not like normal glue, which obviously dries clear, dries. If you see what I mean, you'll see what I mean when we start demonstrating. This is designed to remain tacky, so it doesn't matter even if someone, I don't know, rings your doorbell. Perhaps you've got a Carnation Crafts delivery arrived at your door and you're halfway through doing this. It will remain tacky, so there's no rush with this. It's quite a leisurely way to do things, which is really nice. Initially, what we're going to do, if we're doing the stamping technique, we're going to squidge out just a little bit of glue. You don't need much, just probably the size of, I don't know, a 1p piece. It depends on the stamp that you're using. And then we can use our sponge just to dab that over. Now, the key here is to work on something like a sheet of plastic, which is going to keep your glue from going on any surfaces, and it keeps it in one place as well. You can then take your stamp. So the stamp I've chosen to use for this demonstration is from our Into the Woods selection. So it's like a selection of little leaves and things. And this is pretty much one of the only times you see me working with an acrylic block rather than a stamping platform. Essentially, that glue that you've just squidged out with your sponge is going to be exactly the same as if it was an ink in an ink pad, okay? So we bring our stamp to the glue and we pick it up on the stamp. We're going to squidge it all over. The idea with foiling, it depends on how precise you want to be, but you want to ink up, so to speak, your stamp, squidge off any excess, and then come on to your card, okay? You can actually see the glue in the sense it looks wet, and it will leave like a little trace. Can you see that little fine trace of the outline on your cardstock? Remember, this glue remains tacky, so you do not have to rush. You don't have to worry about it. You know, it will remain tacky. Squidge off the excess. That just ensures when you come to stamp, you haven't got any squidgy areas. You haven't got any big blobs of glue. But each and every time it will leave an impression of the glue on the surface. As we're using up the glue, obviously you don't need to squidge off any excess of the glue from the stamp itself, but you keep going and you can create whole pattern backgrounds with this. So I've chosen to use a smaller stamp. Obviously you can use a bigger stamp. All you would need to do is adjust the size of patch of glue you are using. And we can twist around our cardstock and add in more and more stamps. I'm going to fill this cardstock up because I think it's beneficial for you guys to see the process all in one go, so to speak. So the whole piece of card demonstrated. What you can also do is what we would term in stamping as ghost stamping or secondary stamping, whereby you've stamped once and then you're essentially cleaning off your stamp by stamping again. What that is going to result in is a less coverage of your glue, because obviously some of it's already been used, some of it's already been laid down on the cardstock, and you're not going to get as defined. So if you want a more rustic look, that is perfect. Now, your plastic can either go in the bin or saved for another day. I'm just going to fold that over so no kitty cats which are prowling around are going to stand in that and get them on their paws. Oh my goodness! Literally, it's like a homing beacon for fluffy cats. Go on the floor, Morphy Cat. If you are using your stamps to do your impressions with your glue in, what I would suggest is pop them in warm soapy water straight away. So as soon as you finish using them, warm soapy water. If for any reason you do forget, don't panic. all you need is a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a microfiber cloth, and you can just go over the top section. It removes any sticky from your stamps. If you guys, any of you guys follow me on Facebook, Instagram, you will have seen I had a big old mission the other day where I cleaned all my stamps, and that's what I use, rubbing alcohol and a microfiber cloth. The reason I recommend a microfiber cloth is it obviously doesn't leave any fibrous bits. So unlike kitchen towels or baby wipes or anything like that, it won't leave any fibres which will then interrupt with your stamping look. This, I would like to introduce you to, is my stamping station, my foiling station. So in a just normal plastic box, I've got my leaves for my gold leaf. I'm using gold for this one. And we're going to show you how we are then going to apply the foil, okay? Obviously, if you're working with air conditioning or open window, just be mindful. These little bits are going to blow everywhere. Or if you are trying to demonstrate and talk over the top, don't laugh in the box because it goes everywhere. I'm just going to have a little scroll back, make sure I'm not missing anything. Any questions coming in, do type them up because I will do my best to answer as we go. Avril says, can you use this on metal dies? Avril, it's not something I've personally tried. I don't see why you couldn't. However, obviously, as I've said, you do need to make sure, because that glue is sticky and remains sticky, you need to make sure you're cleaning everything down afterwards. Penny says, sorry I'm late. Penny, please don't worry. We always upload the videos afterwards, both to our Facebook page and also our YouTube channel as well, so you can watch back at any time. Karen says, naughty morph. He has been so naughty today, but it's very, very sweet. Oh, I'm sorry, Alwyn. I'm glad you're here. So hopefully this will provide a nice distraction for you. So our imitation rose, silver and gold leaf come in these little wallets, which is lovely because it means it keeps them all nice and safe and secure. They come as, I mean, look at that. That is just glorious. One whole sheet of foil, okay? So you can remove the whole sheet, lay it over, and then tap it down. I'm just going to pop my little booklet, if you like, of gold leaf off to one side, imitation gold leaf. And then we're just gently going to press. We're not going to push down or anything like that at this stage. We're just gently tapping over the surface of the foil so that it sticks to the tacky glue that we've laid down. And actually, you know, the longer you take to do this, i.e., you know, I'm not rushing this or anything like that, the better the tack to the glue. And also, if you have got any layers where it's a little bit sort of bunched up with glue, it will settle. It won't be as squidgy, if you know what I mean, when it comes to this particular aspect of it. So all the way over the surface, once we've tapped everything into place and the glue has grabbed the foil, we just need to start in just a nice gentle circular motion, buffing that foil off. Now, what you can do to avoid having the foil sticking to you or anything like that, you can use things like talcum powder on your hands. Excuse me, that was nearly a disaster. Or a little bit of anti-static, for example. I haven't done so on this occasion, but it's just to show you guys. And then once we've started buffing, what we can do is then to start buffing properly. So you see why we're using a tray. It's going to catch all of the bits of foil that are excess, so waste if you like, because they can be used again in another project. Okay, they just become gilding flakes rather than gilding sheet, and we can use those again. Excuse me whilst I just take a gulp of drink. Sorry about that, guys, got a bit of a frog in my throat. Okay, so once we get to that stage where you've rubbed off most of the excess, you can take something like a little sponge, and again gently, the idea is to be gentle with this, is just continue rubbing. The easiest way to do it is keep moving over the surface and keep going back over areas as well. And you can see here already how the images of all those leaves are beginning to appear. Just take a look. I mean, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Really beautiful shine to that gold. Okay, once you're in the position whereby it has grabbed, go over and apply a little bit more pressure and remove even more of the excess. And now you're getting into the finer detail of the stamp there. Obviously it's a glue, so it's not like an ink. It's not intended to pick up every single fine detail of each and every stamp, but the more you do this, the more you practice with it, the finer the finish you're going to get on your foiling. And it is supposed to give this wonderful sort of little bit more rustic look to your designs. But you see how I've done one side more, so I've rubbed more on one side where you're getting all the fine veins and things on the leaf there, and you've still got the sort of centers here, by going in and just buffing away in sections all over like so. You can then bring up the patterns in those leaves, and this is lovely because it's adding a texture to your backing papers. This is adding a little bit of sparkle to your backing papers as well, and of course this is then not something you're going to be able to go into the shop and buy, so it's going to be unique, isn't it, to your design. It's going to be unique to your card, which I think adds a really lovely finish to it. Just brush off the excess there. I mean, we could spend more time doing the foiling and the rubbing and things like that, but you can see how that is catching the light beautifully. So that is just with the foiling kit. Remember, that is on deal of the day today with 15% off, and I've used the imitation gold on that one. Okay, so this is just a demonstration to show you how we use it as an ink design. Okay, so that looks really, really pretty. Now, of course, I'm using that on a plain cardstock. How about we show you how this design looks? Let me just put the lid back on whilst I'm talking. On your texture cardstock as well. So this is one of the backing papers, free backing paper downloads from carnationcrafts.co.uk. This is part of the Colour of Autumn collection, and we've kind of done sort of a little bit of a swathe. I've done repeat stamping on this, so ghost stamping on this, so we just get the finest detail from the patterning in the background, but it adds almost like another dimension to your cardstock design. It just gives you something really, really pretty. So of course, absolutely, you've just seen it used on the plain card there, which almost makes it a big, big feature. By using it on similar colour to the sort of golden colours and things of Colour of Autumn, it just fades into the background, but gives you those hints of sparkle and flourish as well, which I think is really, really lovely. Hopefully you guys will agree with that. I'm just going to wipe down my gilding plates off the table here. And this is going to become our backdrop to our card design that we are going to be working with for the Colour of Autumn. What I might end up doing is a few other little techniques with this sheet of paper, because when I come to align it on my mats and layers, the edges feel a little bit, not lost, I don't think lost is the right word, but because you've got this lovely gold on the centre, I do feel like the edges could do with a little bit of detailing. I've already lost my box. I'm going to have this in place, but what I might do is grab my little piece of plastic, my little piece of stamping plastic, and a little bit of, oh no, that's one that's not open yet, forgive me, a little bit of glue, and this time around we can stamp out with our sponge. The sponge is a nice high density sponge, so the glue is sitting on the surface rather than being sucked into the sponge. But what we could do is go along on the edges of the card, just scraping that glue, oops, not too much. If anywhere where we get a little bit too much, we can go in and just pat that away. And keep tapping like so. And this is going to create a nice little frame for our foiling as well. So just keep tap, tap, tap all the way along the edge. Again, not being too precious. I don't want it to be exact. I want it more of a rustic look, because I think that gives it a little bit more presence on the front of a card. And just by tapping it along and taking the sponge away, it creates a more natural edge as well. You don't want to do anything where it's a bit too obvious or a bit too, you know, like you're trying a little bit too much with the foiling design. Every time I'm moving my hand, I'm making sure I haven't got my hand in the glue, because we don't want to transfer the glue all over the front of this cardstock. So obviously that would get a bit messy. Got a little bit of flakes there making an appearance already. So now we've got the glue all the way around the edges as well. Okay, now this time around I'm going to see how much we can get away with just by using the excess, the stuff that we used just now. And again, you can see it instantly grabs to that glue. How tacky that glue is perfect for these kind of demonstrations with your foil. Now it could be, I haven't tested it, but think about other techniques whereby you'd need tacky glue. Things like embossing powders or something like that. I don't see why you couldn't use it, as long as you're not heating it too close or anything like that. It could absolutely work in that sense as well. So anywhere where we've got the glue, we're applying the flakes as they are now. So this is the what would have essentially been the waste from the demonstration we've just done. And we're just tapping those down into place. I'm going to just lower that down into the tray there. And just like so. Once we've got all of the edges covered, just tapping that in like so. It kind of gives quite a nice fancy finish to your card designs. So once again, burnishing down with our finger, just rubbing that from the surface of the card down. Anywhere where we're missing some, we can just tap more flakes back in and keep going. A little bit in that corner that hasn't grabbed. It's quite happy to stick to my fingers. And then let's now rub that excess away. So it looks like you're using so many flakes for this, but once you start rubbing away, do you see how you're left with just a nice shine to the edge of your card? I won't lift it up just yet because obviously there's still loose flakes on it and I've got to do the other two sides. But I will lift it up to the camera afterwards so you can see how that's coming together. Do you know what? Really great actually for a Christmas. You know, it would be, oh no, there's flakes flying everywhere. For a Christmas card, you know, you could add little silver. I mean, obviously we've got the three colours in the kit there. It would look great for a sort of a winter frosty kind of scene, wouldn't it? Carla's making me laugh. She says, so gorgeous, Sam. Thank you, darling. She says, I've just broken up a fight between Kevin, the fat pigeon, and Barry, the grey squirrel. Big standoff over the peanuts and the bird feeder. Things got a bit argy-bargy for a minute there. I did not have time. I did not have time to be a bouncer. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Do you know, I was very impressed with your grey squirrel, Barry. He was gorgeous. He made visitors, didn't he, whilst we were on the phone. But yeah, Carla's dad made the most exquisite bird table for Carla's new house. And it's like having almost like a soap. I would actually say it rivals EastEnders for storylines at the minute, because every day you've got Kevin trying to work out how he can get into the bird feeder. He's a little bit too big. And obviously now Barry's having a go as well. I don't think it's actually been visited by the birds it was intended for, has it, Carla, yet? Brilliant. Okay, so we're doing the other two sides there as well, just using the excess flakes. And again, just brushing those from the centre, like so. This is almost getting into the realms of sort of a mixed media kind of card design. It gives a really lovely rustic edge to your card designs. And again, just another way of using that foiling glue, just like so. You see how by using that sponge, it's just buffing the surface of the foil. It almost makes it even more shiny, just taking that excess off like so. Creates a nice story and a nice frame around your card designs as well. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. Let's put the lid back on before Morphe dries and gets in there, and stick that back over as well. And then I'm just going to quickly wipe my hands off so I'm not shedding gilding flakes and foil everywhere. I'm going to check back to see if we've got any questions coming in. Okay. Christine says, just ordered the deal of the day. There you go, Christine. It is worth checking those deals of the day each day, because there are some fantastic ones shared by the team. Okay, so let me lift this up so you can see it in more detail. Now, you see how you've got that nice foiled edge, but because it's applied with the glue, it's, you know, it's patchy, it's more rustic. There's obviously Morphe decided to touch that one, so there's a bit of Morphe fur in there. It just adds to the texture, it's fine. But it just adds in this nice frame to finish that edge, and it ties in with the story you've popped to the centre of your design as well. Love it, absolutely love foiling. I think it's a lot of fun. So, should we start building a card with that design? Here I've got, and I believe, oh, I have a ruler over here. Ooh. This is a 6 by 8 card blank on our 350 perfect smooth cardstock, and to the top I have got the perfect papers from the Colour of Autumn die collection. So I'm going with these sort of pumpkin spice colours. They're just nice warm colours to work in with the background there. Wendy says, I have 3 squirrels in our garden. Oh, do you know what? I love watching them. I think they're so pretty. Do you enjoy watching them as well? They've all got their own little personalities, haven't they? Really, really sweet. So we're going to stick that first layer down using our finger lift tape. So as you've seen me do before, if you've watched these Facebook Lives, I've just folded the tabs, so the excess of the tape over, and usually it allows me to peel all in one go, one side like so, okay? That means I'm then hands-free to go in and remove the carrier sheet from the other sides as well. Doing it that way means we get the position correct. It gives us time to align everything perfectly, and you're not having to commit to that stick straight away, okay? Let's do that again with this next colour. So again, mats and layers, framing devices to contain our story on the front card, to highlight our stories on the front of the card. Again, finger lift tape on this layer, fold the tabs over the edge, and then just slide that into place, making sure you've got the same amount around the edges, holding in place as we peel away the carrier sheet like so, and then just smooth that down, and that's going to give you your perfect mats and layers each and every time. Now we can introduce that layer we have just folded. Do you see now how that lifts by having that edge included within the design of your leaves and things? It just lifts the edge as well. It makes more of a prominence of this layer. What we've also done, oh, got lots and lots of gilding flakes on the back of this. Could have done with wiping the back of this card. I don't know why I'm trying to take that one off. I've popped 1mm foam tape on the reverse. These ones along the middle are just going to work as support. You don't have to worry about taking the tape off of those at all. They're just there for support. Folding them over the edge and aligning. Those middle ones are going to hold the middle of the card up so it doesn't sag in the middle. And then the side ones, as you've just seen me do with the finger lift, those are then going to sit in place like so. It just gives it a little bit of lift. It gives that layer a little bit more prominence. It gives you a nice drop shadow, which then reflects beautifully with the foil as well. Do you know what? The Carnation team are amazing. They've actually just been on and said, so Christina says, just order the deal of the day, yay, which I think I said maybe about, I don't know, at most 5 minutes ago. Carnation Crafts just commented, and the Carnation Warehouse team has just picked it for you. That is how quick our team work. They are superstars. And you know what? I have to say thank you all to you guys, and obviously the guys in the office as well, because they are so passionate about getting your orders out to you. Because I know you guys at home, just like me, you want to be crafting ASAP with your orders. Now, onto this, we're going to start building a little bit of a story about autumn. So here we have the sunflowers. These are all from the Colour of Autumn collection, and we have a selection of leaves. And rather than, and I've said this quite a lot in these things, rather than sticking or trying to stick anything centrally, if you try and stick centrally and don't get it right, it's really, really obvious. It's really jarring on the eye. However, if you move things purposefully away from the centre, it looks more placed, it looks more thought through. You're then creating open space around your subject, and it almost gives your subject more prominence. So if I just move that back to the middle again, I mean, you can do absolutely, but I do find this area here is not as wide as this area here. My eye is drawn to that. This area is shorter than this one. My eye starts getting distracted. By placing it off to one side, you're giving it a reason to be on the front of that card. Furthermore, let's add in more textures behind. So you're breaking up that background by adding in more texture. So these little beauties are cut from the same cardstock as our original mats and layers. Remember, it's all about balance. It's all about repeating ideas within your card designs. And these little geometric designs layer up. So you're taking something from a strip and you can create whole backgrounds with them. If I just lay that over, it's a repeat pattern in lots and lots of different directions, but that then gives us a corner. It gives us a placement for our sunflower. We can then go in and decorate with the leaves around. You know, it's really up to you how you want to design with this, but it gives you options. What I'm going to do is I am going to use these. I'm going to use these with our everyday glue. And I've done it again. I've got Wednesday's glue out in front of me on the desk. I never do this whenever I'm crafting on air. I have all the proper days of the week. Our everyday glue, and you'll find it now on our website, is typical, atypical Carnation Crafts humour. We've given you everyday glue literally for every day of the week. So this is my Wednesday glue. I've gone crazy. I'm using it on the wrong day, but you know what? Let's just go with it. And actually, let's grab another piece of plastic. Rather than doing what I was going to do, let me grab this. And then I can use that sponge. So I'm just going to squidge out a little bit of my glue. And now I'm going to use another one of my sponges. So the pack of sponges comes with 8 sponges in it. Sometimes what I do is have my glue, my everyday glue, and then I put it on the back of my hand, and then I, put my die, obviously test before you do that. Then I put my die cut on the back of my hand and pick up the glue. But actually, I don't know why I just don't do this, because if I bring it into shot so you guys can see. If I use my everyday glue with my sponge, I can really quickly and easily just ink up or glue up the back of my die cut. I don't know why I've never thought of doing that before. That's so much simpler. Because I haven't got squidgy glue everywhere. I've not got edges where it's all spilt over the side of the glue. Honestly, sometimes I do surprise myself. Yeah. That is so much simpler than having the glue on the back of my hand. I will continue doing that in the future. That sponge is going to stay on my desk. Now I want to decide where is going to be my point, my cut-off point, because I don't want the whole strip along the bottom there. I just want a little bit of a tail coming out. So I think I'm going to take that off just in this section here. Remember, you don't have to use all the Carnation Crafts die cuts as they cut. You can absolutely go in and make them your own. Of course, that can go in my project box for another day. And then we can choose how we're going to line that up to give that a little bit of a kick out to one side. Camilla says, does the foil have to be gold, silver or rose gold leaf? Does any colour foil work? How about using the foils for the hot press? No, this is cold foiling, so you actually do need your cold foiling foils. It wouldn't work with the hot press because the hot press foils are activated by heat. I think you probably end up just getting in a little bit of sticky mess with the ones for a hot foil design. Okay, so let's just sticking up that one. And let's just turn that, and remember these are a repeat pattern, so that can go in lined up over the edge there to create a background. So again, layering is key. I know I say it a lot, but layering really is key when it comes to your designs, because you're creating that story, you're creating that base and that layer to give you pause between the background and then highlight the central designs that you're working with. I'm not going to glue my sunflowers down just yet. I'm going to just check my pin flare is unplugged, which it isn't. I have showed you this in the last Facebook Live, but whenever you're using your pinful glue gel, which is now available on Carnation Crafts website, when you finish it, squidge a little bit of glue up to the centre of the nozzle and then put your lid on, okay? And that means when you come to use it again, you've got a plug by which you can grab, easily unplug, so you get a little glue bit there. And that saves the rest of your glue in your tube. It means the rest of your glue isn't going to go hard. It's just that bit that's in contact with the air. What I'm going to do first is come up with some sort of design. What you can always do, obviously, if you are working at home doing this or trialing things out, you can always go in and photograph before you commit to stick and have a plan to work with. Perhaps it says something you're going to work with on another day, for example. but having enough die cuts out in front of you to allow you to have that little bit of experimentation, that little bit of a play, just lends itself so beautifully to being able to work with your designs. I want to go up that line that I've created with the geometric pattern die cut and then come down a little bit as well. So I'm going to go roughly that kind of idea. So I think let's start going in with our die cuts. I'm going to have them all out and just go for it. I think before we commit to stick for anything, we are going to shape our die cuts out. Now you see all of the die cuts that I use are cut from what we call our mirrored vignettes. We have both mirrored and standard vignettes available on our website. The mirrored allows me to sculpt, okay? It means if I was doing that on a standard die cut, the reverse is white. So if I'm lifting the leaves up and then putting the leaves into my design, you're going to have distracting areas of white, okay? By using the mirrored, you've got the same colour on the back of the die cut as what you have on the front, and it just gives it a much more professional finish. Also, if you don't stick the layers, as I have done here, you can peel them off and use the lefts and the rights. It gives you more more craftability. Carnation Crafts have got an update for you as well. Christine, if you'd like to know, if you're reading these comments, already out for delivery. There you go. They're already off to the post office as well, which I think is fantastic. Lorraine says, just got the deal of the day. Thanks, honey. Yeah, I know. It's one not to miss with this, because it does give you really nice craftability with your card designs. But it also, as I say, it does start taking you into that realm of mixed media as well, which is really fab. So a little bit of pin flare just for our first little leaf. And you see how we're shaping it. We're taking our pokey tool, running that over the leaves and twisting and turning them. Both leaf sections, all of the leaf sections, twisting and turning them and giving them shape and giving them life. We're then taking the centre of the pokey tool and lifting the leaves around, and it gives you such a realistic look to your leaf. Obviously, if you just want to work with the standard vignettes, they are there within the files for you to download and use as well. Remember, all of the original colourways you see us demonstrate with, the colourways you see us present with on air or in our boards and with the DT wonderful design team designs as well, they are all available for free, which is lovely. There we go, that's fantastic. I've got one happy bunny. Christine says, thank you, Carnation Crafts. That's fantastic. So again, even small leaves, take the time to shape and sculpt. It just brings so much life and texture to designs as well. It creates more drop shadows, it creates more plays of light within your designs. It's just something a little bit fun. So we're just layering up. I'm going to just stick that top leaf down as well so it doesn't fall down when we are working with them. So again, using that pin filler lifts wherever we've sculpted, it continues to add that sculpt element. It gives you a lot more height and dimension. It dries clear as well, but remember, unlike foam pads, it will remain it gives you, it's so difficult to explain, it gives you sort of an undulation. So foam pads are, you know, once you stick them down, they are stuck, and that is where they are. Whereas it gives you wiggle room with the pin flare glue gel as well. Adding in just a few smaller leaves as well. These have more of a little greener tone, so this is really where the leaves are falling from the trees at this time of year. Just layering them up. Oops, go in there. Overlapping them and playing around with the layers that we're putting on this card. All we are creating here, as far as this card is concerned, is lots and lots of layers for a backdrop for that beautiful sunflower to sit in full prominence to the top of the card design. Let's just check that one there. I'm going to snip that one down just a smidge as well. And again, glue just on those petals, leaves, and have that trailing. I'm trying to give the idea that these leaves are falling as per the tumbling leaves that we fold in the background of the card as well. Now, berries. I think berries. Who thinks berries? Love the red in this. It's like a vermilion. It's a really lovely. But do you know what I noticed the other day? I take Rue out every morning for a walk before I start work. Just so he settles down and has a little nap in the morning, which gives me a little bit of time but it's also really good to have some fresh air and things like that. And the trees and the bushes and the hedgerows are absolutely laden with berries at the moment, which normally means we're in for a bit of a dramatic winter, doesn't it? So here you can see I'm twisting and turning. So the leaves are sitting underneath the berries and the berries are sitting on top. Then you're twisting and turning them all so you get this idea that everything is interlaced. Everything is there for a reason. Again, I'm going to snip this down slightly because we're going to tuck this in behind the leaves there. Remember, they are your die cuts to do with as you wish, as long as you have cut them out using our dies or SVG files. If it's an SVG file you're working with, you can layer and cut as much as you like. Now at this stage, this is gorgeous enough as it is. Do you know what? This would be really, really perfect for a more masculine card because you're not introducing any floral elements. It's all about your leaves and things like that. So all you would need to add is your happy birthday sentiment, and you're away. You know, you've then got this really lovely, more masculine vibe. But because we're going all out and then mounting the sunflowers on top, it gives you this wonderful backdrop. Okay, it gives it a little bit more of a feminine touch. Jane says, it's Jane from Australia. I'm new here and couldn't sleep. Oh my goodness, how lucky you came on live. I get to see the process as it's happening. Oh, well, thank you for joining us, Jane. That's really, really amazing. I'm sorry you can't sleep, but hopefully this is providing a little bit of entertainment for you. Now, I think I want a little bit more, just leafy leaves in the background there. So you see how I'm sort of laying them over the top and just sort of offering them up and seeing where I want to elongate this sort of burst of leaves behind the design. Just like so, elongating that down further. Let's go in with another one of these lovely oak leaves and tuck that behind the berries and things. Twisting and turning. And adding in a little bit more Pinflair. Remember, as I think I've said, Pinflair is now available on Carnation Crafts website as well. So I'm just going to gently lift these areas. Again, it's that liftability you have with Pinflair to keep tucking and layering and things like that. Come on, you. I might just snip that little stalk off, just so I can really tuck that leaf down properly behind the other ones, so it doesn't just get stuck. This is the thing with using textured backgrounds. That's better. That's better. I'll just get my glue off my fingers. And where else? Let's have a little bit more attention to here, because I feel like the balance is kind of skewed a little bit. It needs just a little bit more on that side just to bring it out further. And to do that, I'm going to do that with littler leaves. Again, this is all from the same collection, or the colour of autumn. But again, each one gets the same attention. Each one, even down to the smallest leaf, we're taking the time to pop the little stalks in, twisting and turning them, and shaping those leaves out beautifully as well. Let's take a little half leaf here. Same thing again, using that pokey tool, introducing that height and dimension, a little bit of the Pinflair, and then just tuck as we go. And that's just nicely filling that little area just down to the edge, not over the top. It just gives you a little bit more balance. I think I'm happy with how that's looking. Ready for the sunflowers to make their grand entrance on the top. And you've made this wonderful full spray. It's just like working as a real florist. You're adding in those textures of the background to make those flowers sing. So once again, normally you would shape before you add your mats and layers and all your decoupage layers and things like that. But we're just giving that a little bit of shaping on the leaves. Same thing with the sunflower petals. Bring them forward, you know, bring them so they are sitting around. So they're sitting proud of your card design. They are there. They've got the wonderful cut line details, so much expressive detail in all of our die sets, but it just makes it a little bit more realistic. And then we can position the sunflower like so. Now, because we're laying that over the top, we're going to need a little bit of Pinflair. I'm going to have to squidge that down into the flowers that are underneath. So we're going to place our Pinflair just in the centres of each one of the flowers, and I'm going to leave the leaves until I've placed, I think. So again, just grabbing that in an area whereby there's no glue, and positioning it just over the top. Okay. Obviously, if you're considering posting this type of design, do bear that in mind if you're adding lots and lots of layers in pin flare. But by going in, you can then add in further pin flare designs like so. Now we just got a few berries sticking from the top there. I'm going to pull those out just a little swidge so you've got a little bit more elongation there so it doesn't look so lost behind, and then tuck those ones in further as well. That little leaf, I'm just going to tweak so it's sitting a little bit more out of the sunflower edge. And yes, you may think, okay, well, you're covering up so many of the layers that you've already put down. They are still there. You can look through the flowers, you can look through the leaves and things and see that detailing just appearing in the backgrounds of your designs. It just gives added interest, and that's what this card is about. Now, I do want to include a sentiment here, but what I've chosen to do, so it's not taking away from that initial imagery we're using, I've cut that in the same colour as the second matte layer, so it is very, it looks very pale on the camera. It doesn't look as stand out, if you like. It does have a nice contrast because it's a plain card rather than the patterned and the textured and the foiled card we have been using. But once again, I'm going to use my everyday glue and then sponge, like so. Just pick up some glue on the back of that there, and then sponge, oops, over the back of my sentiment. So that's then picking up enough glue so it sticks without having all the glue squidging out of the edges as well. This is actually a happy birthday sentiment from the stepper card from the Fresh Blooms collection. It's a nice little die cut, this. Okay, I'm going to hold that in place and push down. That glue takes. Just going to squidge that happy up so it's more in line. That's better. And that's looking really pretty. It's kind of secondary when you look at the happy birthday there, because it's not foiled. It's kind of more stand out than what it looks on the camera because it's matte, and it just draws the eye, but it's not overtaking the idea of the card, whereby you've got all the details on the little florals there, which is really, really sweet. I love the little finish to this. I think it's a lovely collection. Hopefully you guys like it as well. But again, taking the time to build your background layers up really gives you this beautiful finish to this card design. What I will do is just swing that camera around and show you from the front as well, because I think it gives you a different dynamic as well when you can see all of the mats and layers and all the dimension that we've put into that. It just gives you a lovely prominence to the sunflowers there. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed that demonstration. You can see, just need to squidge that glue down a little bit more. Rather than working on something that's like a really intricate card base, you can transfer all of these layering designs to smaller card bases as well, like this 6x8 we've been working on. I'd love to see your makes along this sort of idea. If you'd like to share them within our Facebook group, it's Carnation Crafters. Hop on over, have a little look. There's lots and lots of inspiration, and the team over there are amazing. The customers over there are amazing at sharing inspiration and help. They're so friendly as well. That really concludes today's Facebook Live. Hopefully you found it interesting. Let me know in the comments as well. And shall I show you a sneak peek? Oh, I'm going to get so told off for this. Shall I do it? Can I grab it? Okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. Let's just do it because they can't stop me. I'm trying to think which one I'm going to show you now. Okay, so we have got coming up for next week another Facebook Live on Wednesday, and it is a Christmas special. Now we have been releasing sneak peeks. There are sneak peeks on the social pages if you have a little look for them, but we've had lots of questions in when is it, what is it new collection, things like that. It's not a new collection, it's new vignettes for previous collections, a little bit like we did for Halloween, but we've done it with a Christmas twist at this time. Different die sets involved, and again, it will be your deal of the day. I'm going to give you a little heads up because I just fell in love with this little one. Look at the little hedge pig, and he's wearing a little scarf. He's all wrapped up warm for Christmas. I love it. That's just one little sneak peek, okay? I will get shot if I show you any more, so I can't. But stay tuned because the Facebook Live we've got next week is a special Christmas one. I'm in the process of making the cards at the minute, hence why I've got our little hedgehog. to hand. But yeah, I'm going to try and make you a couple of cards. So rather than just the one card demonstration, we're going to have a couple of different cards within that demonstration as well, and they are beautiful. These vignettes, you wait till you see them, they are absolutely gorgeous. So keep on the lookout for that. Carla has actually got, it's a really exciting week next week. Not that it isn't normally, but there's lots happening. Carla will be bringing you a brand new USB called The Charms of Nature on Monday. That launches on Create and Craft at 5:15 in the evening, and she'll be on throughout the week with that as well. If you check out the events pages, we've got all the times listed for you on that. That USB is with SVG files, so it's for use with your scan and cut or your electronic cutting machines. And that features the Gift of Giving collection, Misty Morning, and also Taking Flight. So previous die collections that you've seen, we've now brought them to you in SVG form. Carla will be launching that on Monday on Create and Craft. And then we've got the Christmas special here on Facebook on Wednesday, and then on Friday we have got the launch of our next die collection called Floral Heights, which is just sublime. I will hopefully be able to do a show preview for that one next week as well, but keep an eye on the events pages where we will pop up all the details. Lots and lots of love coming in. Oh no, Carla, she's just said you were in so much trouble. Do you know what? I was going to say they might not be there, but it is still work time, so work, I've probably seen that. Sorry, work, if you have. Karen says love him. Janet says, oh, wonderful, thank you, love it. You're more than welcome, Janet. Lots and lots of love coming in for our little hedgehog there. So yeah, absolutely, do keep tuning in to the social pages. Sign up for the newsletter as well, because we'll send more information in that too. But until next time, so Carla's with you on Monday. I will be back with you here on the Facebook page on Wednesday, and again on Create and Craft with our new collection on Friday. So I hope you stay safe, keep well in the meantime, and until then, see you later. Take care, everyone. Bye.